Hi, this is Yoga with Heidi, and we're going to keep building on to our Intro to Yoga series, constantly adding on another layer to your practice. And this class is all about the warrior poses. So when you think of a warrior, I think of like strong, courageous. And when I think of that strong, courageous, normally you just think of like it's confident and just keep going. But there takes a huge amount of inner strength when you can put your ego aside and really listen and learn. And one of the most amazing things that I learned when I first stepped onto a mat is that ability to start listening to your body. And there is a real warrior or inner strength when you can start differentiating between, wait a minute, my ego's taking over and I'm going to push through and get hurt. Or, you know what, today my body's just not ready for that, and I'm going to back off and just honor where I'm at today. So with that in mind, we're going to move through these warrior poses. And I'd like us to start in a child's pose. So you're going to bring your knees towards the edge of your mat. You're going to bring your toes to touch, and you're going to walk your hands forward. I like to make it nice and wide. I like to use a lot of space, so there's no tightness or being uncomfortable in any way. All right, so sitting the sit bones back, and I'm just going to drop my elbows down, my forehead down, spread my fingers nice and wide, and then just closing your eyes, you're going to come into this present moment. Now, you can't really listen to your body if your mind is somewhere else. So that's why we use our breath to really come to this moment, this present moment right here. And I would like you to just move your forehead left to right, and you start feeling some movement in the neck, just lubricating those joints, as well as feeling that connection. You can actually feel maybe the texture of the mat on your forehead, feeling that connection, feeling that grounding, that presence of mind. And come to stillness. Let's activate the child's pose by lifting your elbows off your mat. You're going to spread the fingers wide. And I want to think about what's happening in the shoulders here. So you want to slide those shoulders away from the ears and then hug your lower ribs in. See if you can send the sit bones a little bit further back towards the heels. You're going to take a big breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and make a nice audible breath, like you're trying to fog a mirror. Beautiful. Breath in. This time, seal your lips, but keep fogging that mirror. Nice. Breath in. Breath out. Beautiful. Let's walk your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to come up on all fours. You're going to bring your knees directly underneath your hip. We're going to do a few rounds of cat and cow here. So inhale, we open up the front of the body. And then as you exhale, you curl your back. Feel that doming in the upper back. Bring the chin to the chest. And we move with the breath. So inhale, we arch. And then exhale, we hug it in and feel that dome. Feel the skin stretching between the shoulder blades. Inhale, we arch. And exhale, we hug it in. Let's add some movement here. So we want to lubricate the joints. So let's do some nice big circular motions. Like what we're doing right now is lubricating the joints in the wrist, the hips, the knees, and in the side body too, in the spine, the ribs. You should feel that movement as you just roll down. Maybe you even cat and cow a little, get a little doming in. And let's do the other side. You want to make sure you do one side, you always do the other. We try our best to be balanced, but we're not balanced. One side is maybe stronger than the other. One side is a little more flexible than the other. But you give it equal attention and things will soon come to balance. All right, come back to center. You're going to curl your toes, downward facing dog. So the feet are hip distance apart. You lift the sit bones up to the sky. And then you want to think about keeping those knees bent. And then you tilt that tailbone up. Now what's happening here are these shoulders, right? Slide those shoulders away from the ears. Hug your lower ribs in. Like I really like to straighten out my knees so I can get a little deeper stretch in the calves and the hamstrings. You listen to your body. What do you need? Remember, you're a warrior. You got that inner strength that you can set the ego aside and really listen and learn. All right, lift the right leg all the way up and back. Take a big breath in here. You're going to bend the knee. We're going to roll that hip nice and open. And let's roll those ankles one more time. Oh, might feel some cracks, pops in the joints. And that's all good. No worries. And send the right leg all the way up and back. And then we're going to bring the knee into the chest and squeeze it in. And then go all the way back. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Bring the knee into the chest. Send it back. Inhale. You bring the knees into the chest. You're going to look forward and then place that right foot to the front of the mat. Now, you might take a little traveling stepping forward, which means your right foot might sit halfway in the mat. And then you take your right hand and you just guide it forward that way. But I love using blocks. So if you have blocks, grab those. All right. Now, we're going to just look forward. Take a big breath in here. Beautiful. Step your left foot back to the front of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. I want you to bend the knees. Ragdoll. Pinkies opposite elbow creases. And let your head be heavy. You maybe want to sway your body side to side. Again, getting movement in the upper body, but feeling the stability in the lower body. No tension in the neck or in the chin. Beautiful. And then release the hands. I'm going to slowly roll all the way up into standing mountain pose. Feet hip distance apart. Sliding the shoulder blades down your back now. Don't let the ribs poof out. You're going to hug them in. Zip everything in, right? Nice and tall. Ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the ribs, ribs over the hips. Beautiful. Standing right here. Circle sweep your arms up. Big breath in. Hands to heart center, breath out. All right, one more time. Circle sweep, big breath in. This time, you're going to interlace your hands behind your back. Now, if the hands don't interlace, you need a little more space, that's when you can grab a towel, a strap, and just hold on. You're going to roll those shoulder blades back, bend the knees, and we're going to rinse the shoulders out. Maybe start straightening out the legs and sending the tailbone up. Maybe you spin your inner thighs to the back of the room. But now relax the head. Notice where you hold on to tension. Remember, we're listening and learning. So take that time to listen to what your body feels and then do some little changes to feel better. All right, slowly come on up. Maybe you release the towel. Hang your hands onto your thighs, halfway lift, inhale. And then we fold forward, exhale it out. Beautiful. I'm going to keep my hands on the blocks just because for me that works great in my body, but by all means you can move the block out the way. I'm going to step the left leg back, right leg back, downward facing dog. Left leg goes all the way up and back. Big breath in. You're going to bend the knee and we're going to roll that hip nice and open. Think about activating that right quad. You'll see how it lifts the kneecap up, and that just gives a little more stability in that right hip, the right leg. Beautiful. The left leg goes all the way up and back. We're going to bring the knee into your chest. We're going to squeeze it in and then go again. Breath in. Bring the knee into the chest. Exhale it out. Just building a little bit of heat here. Inhale, extend. This time we're going to step it through. Now, because I have a blocks, I got lots of space that I can step my left foot forward. Inhale, looking forward. Take your right leg, step it forward, fold forward. Halfway lift. Breath in. Fold forward, breath out. I'm going to move my blocks over to the side and slowly roll all the way up. Mountain pose. Hands by your side, palms facing forward. Sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Hug lower ribs in. Lengthen that tailbone down. Beautiful. Arms go up. Big breath in. Chair pose. Now, take your thumbs. That little L shape right here. You're going to place it right here in the hip crease. You're going to guide those hips back like you're about to sit on a chair. Now, what tends to happen is the knees collapse forward. And I don't know if you'll notice, but when you do that, when you collapse forward, notice how the arches of the foot goes in. Now, that is going to cause a lot of problems in your ankles and your knees, and that's where injuries can happen. So what you're going to do is sit back, but shift your weight back like you're almost about to fall back, right? So you sit the sit bones back, muscles engage in the legs, muscles engage in the core, and it keeps you stable. And your knees, as much as possible, are still over your ankles, right? Reach your arms all the way up. Now, it's up to you. Does this feel better? Does this feel better with the hands? Does it feel better to bring your hands all the way up? Maybe you here. Maybe your arms are open, nice and wide. You listen to your body. I've got my hands up here, but when I first started, my hands were way out there. I just didn't have enough mobility in my shoulders, and that's all good. Take a big breath in here. Beautiful. We're going to fold it forward. Exhale it out. Halfway lift. Breath in. Hands down to the earth. You're going to step your left foot back. Right foot follows. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And breath out. All right. Right leg goes up and back. Inhale. You're going to use that momentum. Knee into the chest. You step it through. Bring your right foot forward. And then I want you to take your left leg, left heel of your foot, spin it back so it's about a 45-degree angle. Keep your right knee over your right ankle, and then you're going to come all the way up. Now, traditionally, heel to heel alignment. Guess what? We're not all the same body. This feels terrible in my body. So what do? I heel toe this right foot out. So I've got nice wide stance, kind of like this railway tracks. And I spin my back foot down so the outer edge of the heel is pressing down. My back leg is straight. One day, you're going to bring this left hip to face forward. That's the general direction. Doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you push and pull to get there. You just guide it forward. And the wider your legs are, the easier, the more space there is, and it feels better in your body. All right, now, right ankle and knee in one line. So you can bring it up a little, and you don't have to go that deep, or you can go a little deeper by moving forward. But keep that right knee bent directly over that right ankle. Okay. Right hip goes back. Tilt that tailbone down. You're still activating the glutes, the hamstrings, the core. Reach your arms up. Beautiful. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. All right, I'm going to do a little humble warrior. We're going to take your hands behind your back. You can use that towel like we did earlier, or interlace your hands behind your back. Straighten out the arms. Think about, you don't want these rounded shoulders. You want to lift on up and roll them down. So nice opening through the front of the body. Keep that core engaged. Take a big breath in. Maybe you even look up. If that feels good in the neck, that feels good in the lower back. If it doesn't, don't look up. All right, and then you're going to lean forward, bring your right shoulder onto the inside of your right knee. So that's why, nice wide hip distance apart of the legs, you have space to do that. Bring this left shoulder in line, and then rinse out your hands. Bring the chin towards the chest, and then take a look at your left arch of your foot. Now what tends to happen here is this right outer hip pops out to the side. Hug it in and send it back, activating those leg muscles. You should start feeling the leg muscles burning and firing up. All right, reach your arms all the way up. We're going to come back up to our warrior one. Nicely done. And then warrior two. So I'm going to bring my hands to my hips just to show you what this looks like. You're going to heel toe this foot, back foot out. So now that the back of the heel is parallel to the back of the mat. Okay. Again, it can be heel to heel alignment, but again, you can also make it a little wider. So they're tracking not in line, but just a little wider. What feels good in your body? The things that you do need to look forward to, those things don't change. Those are the things that protect you. Right knee over right ankle. So not over it and not up here, because then we're doing extended leg. We're working something different, right? So just bringing the right knee directly over the right ankle. Now what tends to happen is this right knee collapses forward because these right outer hip muscles are not strong enough. We're building that strength, right? That's why we're doing this. So we're going to activate this right outer hip and guide that right knee towards the right pinky toe. Your left leg is straight as possible. You might want to bend it because that feels better in your body. Then do so. Or straighten it out. Now, sometimes I tend to see this happening, which is great if you're doing side angle, which we'll do later, but we're doing warrior two. So shoulders, hips in one line. Tilt that tailbone down. Zip everything up. Hug up and in. And then the arms out. Wrists in line with shoulders. Shoulders not up here. This doesn't feel real good. Shoulders down, away from the ears. That feels good. Okay, now I'm looking at mine. I'm going to go a little bit lower to get the knee over the ankle. Oh, I'm on fire right now, so I'm breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Breath in. And breath out. Now this is my absolute favorite. We reverse it. So I love this. We have the humble warrior, and now we also change our perspective. We look backwards, right? So I flip my right hand and I lean forward as much as possible, like I'm trying to grab onto something. And then I go up, 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 up. My left hand touches my left back leg. Now I stay low in that right leg and you're going to reach up. Don't worry about going back. One day you can go all the way back in arch, but if it's sore in the lower back, think about rather lifting up and looking up. Beautiful. We're going to cartwheel the hands down to the earth into this lunge pose, and then step that right leg back and just move into a downward dog. Nice. Big breath in and big breath out. Just take a moment to notice how the right side feels very, very different to the left side, and that's fine. All good. We worked that right side. Now let's do the left side. Left leg goes all the way up and back. And you step it through for that warrior one. Before I go up, what I do is heel toe this right foot out, nice and wide. Spin the back heel at a 45-degree angle. Press down, core engage, lift body up. Pinkies forward, thumbs back, spread the hands nice and wide. How often in the day do you spread your hands, right? So let's give that opportunity to do so. Soften these shoulders away from the ears. And what's happening on the lower ribs? Let's knit them in. Yes, suddenly, just doing that, I'm firing up all the muscles. I'm feeling that inner strength, right? Take a big breath in here. And big breath out. So many variations you can do with your hands. Hands at heart center, hands out, interlace. We're going to do interlace because we're moving into that humble warrior. So let's roll the shoulder blades back. Arms are straight, right? They can be out here. You can hold into a strap, into a towel. Think about opening up through the chest. You've got to press down through the floor. So don't come on up. Stay nice and low in the legs. Lift that chest up. Look up. And then fold it forward. Left shoulder inside the left knee. Right shoulder comes down, chin towards the chest, or look at the back of your mat. And then just allow some movement and rinsing out your shoulders. Again, you might be here. You might be here. It doesn't really matter. What feels good in your body. All right, pressing down through the feet. We're going to release the hands and come all the way up. Warrior one. Nicely done. Warrior two. Heel toe this back foot so that the heel on the right leg is now parallel to the back of the mat. We're going to extend the arms nice and long. Roll those shoulder blades down and away from the ears. Hug the lower ribs in. What's happening here? Shoulders, hips, one line. Tilt that tailbone down. Beautiful. All right, left knee. Oh, I can feel that bending. It's getting really shaky and warm. Nicely done. Let's reverse it, shall we? Left hand, reach. Like I'm going to grab something and think about going up. Don't even worry about going back. Just up. Low in the legs. Get lower in the legs to go up higher through the fingertips. Beautiful. We're going to cartwheel the hands down to the earth. We're going to step the left leg back to the right. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And big breath out. All right, come down onto your knees. Nicely done. So, we're going to do that again. And we're going to flow with the breath using our warrior poses. Remember that inner strength that you can set the ego aside and really listen to what your body needs right now. All right. For me, I have shorter arms. So I set my ego aside and I take my blocks and I use that to give my arms a little more length. Helps me to step forward a little easier. All right, so first want you to come into a downward facing dog. I'm bringing my hands onto the blocks. You do not need to use the blocks, whatever works for you. You're going to walk your feet to the front of the room about hip distance apart, or your feet can touch if that feels better in your body. Halfway lift, big breath in. Fold forward, big breath out. Circle sweep your arms all the way up. Big breath in here. Bring your hands to your heart center. Breath out. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Using your breath to stay present. Using your breath as a tool to listen and learn. Circle sweep arms. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. Hands to heart center, we fold it forward. Exhale it out. Hands touch the earth or the mat. Halfway lift, breath in. Fold forward, breath out. Chair pose, sit it back, nice and high. Lift those arms up or prayer hands. Now, if it feels better in your body to bring your feet to touch, guess what? Do that. Bring your feet to touch. It feels better in my body not to do that. So that's why I do it this way. Take a big breath in here. Let's cactus your arms, open your chest. Oh, exhale it out. That feels so good. Inhale, arms go up. And cactus, exhale. Go all the way up. Press down to reach up. Breath in. We fold it forward. Breath out. Halfway lift. Inhale. Step your right leg back. Step your left leg back. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose. Big breath out. Right leg up. Inhale. Step it through. Warrior one. Nice wide stance. Back foot 45 degrees. Nice strong legs. Right knee, right ankle. Press down to lift. Torso up. Arms up. Breath in. Interlace hands around your back. Exhale it out. Inhale. Find length in the arms. And then exhale. Humble warrior. Let it all go. Nice soften through the neck. Press down through the feet, the legs, and then lift the arms up as you let go of the hands and reach them up to the sky. Breath in. Open up. Warrior two. Breath out. Take the time to get into those legs. Nice. Breath in. And breath out. I like to fire things up here in this warrior two. You normally would always look over your right fingertips, so feel free to do that. But what I want you to do is come up just a little, like just straighten that right leg just slightly. Take a breath in. And then come down really deep. Stopping, knee over ankle. Come up a little, inhale. Oh, you feel that intensity. Exhale, come on down. Moving mindfully with the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, we reverse the warrior. Reach your arms forward. Go all the way up, up, up and back. Remember, right knee, right pinky toe. You guys are good. Cartwheel your hands down to the earth. My eyes are going to be on the block. Step your right leg back. Downward facing dog. Exhale it all the way out. Left leg goes up. Breath in. We step it through. Warrior one. Nice wide stance. Back heel, 45. Press down to reach on up. Adding on here, we just want to think about taking this left outer hip, engaging it, sending this left hip back, right hip forward, tilt tailbone down, hug lower ribs in. Inhale, reach arms up. Interlace hands behind your back. Exhale it out. Roll shoulder blades back. Find length in the ribs, find length in the spine. Press down through the right outer edge of your foot into the earth. And then fold it forward, rinsing out your shoulders. Humble warrior. Nice strong legs. Push down to lift up. Hands up to the sky. Nicely done. A warrior two. We open it up nice and wide. Shoulders over hips. Press down through the outer edge of that back foot. Lift up through the arch of your right foot. Look over the left fingertips. All right, let's build some heat, shall we? Inhale, come up just a little. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, come on up. Ooh, exhale, come on down. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, come on down. Let's flip your left hand. We're going to reach forward. Lift all the way up, 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 up. Maybe back. Cartwheel your hands down to the earth or onto the blocks. I'm going to move my blocks out. Left leg goes back to the back of the mat. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. Come onto your shins. And we're going to just take a seat. And we're just going to stretch the front of your shins. And putting some pressure at the top of your feet. All right, bring your hands down onto your thighs. Sit up nice and tall. Think about what's happening in the torso. Shoulders, ribs stacking directly over the hips. Notice the muscles, the core muscles firing up. Keep you in that pose right there. Beautiful. Closing your eyes. This is definitely a leg day. All those warrior poses is really about that strong base. Strong, strong legs supporting any movement in the upper body. That deep inner strength through the core. That deep inner warrior. You know you're strong enough. Strong enough to move through anything in your way. And that you can do that with some kindness and compassion and that ability to set the ego aside and really listen to your body. Nicely done. All right, I'm going to just bring my hands down on the floor. So I'm going to swing my legs around. And then what we're going to do is get a little stretching in the quads. We work those hard. We're going to stretch in the hamstrings too. Inner thighs and outer hips. So first thing is first, feet about hip distance apart out. Now, I am not flexible. You know that. I think I've mentioned this many times. So I got all these little tricks, right? First thing is first, you don't want your lower back to round. So what I do is lift up, tilt the tailbone back. Or you can even take a towel and sit on the towel right here. Ooh, right. The sit bone's right on it. And then what you do is you take the sit bones and you just go bloop in front of it. And it just gives you that little lift to take that rounding of the lower back out of your lower back. And you got some more length. All right, arms go up nice and tall. Big breath in. And then you're going to reach forward. And stop halfway, like right here. Okay, now send the sit bones back a bit more, collarbone forward, breath in. And then you come down and hold on to any part of the legs, the feet, the arches of your feet, whatever works for you, all right? And now I just want to keep my back straight for this one, just so I can really get into the legs and maybe even think about pushing the knee creases down into the earth. Again, if your knees are bent and you're all the way up here and you're feeling a beautiful stretch down the hamstrings and in the calves, that's a perfect seated forward bend. Perfect. All right. Take a breath in and breath out. All right, I love this one. We're going to come on up. Supta Baddha Konasana. I'm staying on that towel, right? Still doing that towel thing to help keep lengthening my lower back. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Knees fall out. If you need to take the blocks, so be it. You will still feel the stretch where you need to feel. Doesn't mean that you got to push all the way down to feel the stretch. That's taking the ego, not listening to your body, right? So be okay with where you're at. That's more important. All right, sitting up nice and tall, breath in. And then we fold it forward, breath out. And now here, I want you to bring the chin into the chest and round so that we're actually even stretching all the way to the upper back and to the neck, the back of the neck. Hug your belly button in. Now for me, I need to move the blocks out the way to get just a little deeper stretch by letting gravity pull the knees down. So right now, I'm getting a little hamstring stretch, inner thigh stretch. I'm also opening up through the outer hips. I really like this one. It's like a combo. And I got limited time, so I like combo moves because I only have a shorter period of time to do these things. Beautiful. All right, come on up. We're going to do one more quad stretch, and then we get to rest. So I'm going to move the towel out the way. And I'm going to take the block. You don't need to use a block. And we're going to just lie all the way back. And if you like a block, you can always take the block and place it in your lower back to lift on up. But we're going to bring your feet hip distance apart, bridge pose. We're just going to lift on up, and then notice we're stretching the quads, feeling this opening. Bring your hands down by your side. Maybe bring the hands, palms down, and push down as you lift on up. Breath in and breath out. Now if that feels really, really good in your body and you want to keep doing it, you stay. Otherwise, bring the sit bones back down and then extend the legs nice and long. Bring that awareness back to the breath and just stay where you are. Breathing in and breathing out. I have a reading from one of my favorite authors, Melody Beattie, Journey to the Heart, a reference to a lot of her readings I'd like to share with you today. Have you been working too hard? Have you been working too hard at your job, at life, your spiritual progress? Have you been working too hard on your relationships with people, on trying to gain insights or trying to figure out where to go, what to do next. Many of us have had to work hard to get from where we were to where we are. We had to push, force, put one foot in front of the other. At least we thought we did. But life doesn't have to be that hard. Not anymore. The biggest tasks, the smallest task, the task of living our life doesn't have to be that difficult. There's a natural rhythm for everything that happens along the way. There's a natural rhythm and order for all we're to do. Yes, there are times to begin. Yes, there are times to put one foot in front of the other and go forward. But the joy, the service, the way of life we're seeking doesn't come from force. It comes naturally, easily, much more easily than you think. Stop pushing so hard and see how quickly that rhythm finds you. You don't have to make life happen. In fact, you can't. Relax, let go, and let it happen. Please take a slow breath in through the nose. And open the mouth, let it all out. I'm going to invite you to stay where you are for a moment and just really let it sink in. Setting that ego aside and listening to what your body needs. What do you need? Stay as long as you like. And I look forward to our next class as we add on to our foundations. So please bring your hands to your heart center. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Please bring your thumb and your hands in prayer to your forehead. Namaste.